0.7 trillion naira, a figure significantly above the 2024 approved budget size of 28.8 trillion naira. Federal government says this appropriation bill is for 2025 is to secure Nigeria's future with focus on security. Dr. Biodun Adedikpe, founder, chief executive, chief consultant B. Adedikpe Associates, in a live chat with me earlier, reviewed basic economic issues and pointed out some of the parameters of the budget and projections for 2025.
Well, for me, it is not too ambitious, and I come from the perspective of one, what is the situation of the oil market, which I just explained. So I don't see oil price going southwards in terms of, relativity with this assumption in the budget. That's number one. I've had many analysts say also the oil production assumption of 2.06 million barrels per day is aggressive. I don't really see it as such, because when you talk about oil production, we often forget that there's a component of about 20,000 barrels per day of condensate, which of course is not in their location, but it's an addition to whatever we produce. So when you consider the fact that there's an improvement now in terms of tracking and monitoring our oil production and export, we saw some video that went viral on NNPC's control room. I mean, fantastic, looking like a version of that of Aramco Saudi. All right. Now, what that tells you is that we are likely to see oil production also increase in 2025, given the application of technology to monitor and control. So if that happens, and then the new investments that we also see that are coming to that space, now notice also like Shell divesting its onshore asset, but it is to, an indigenous firm that will still be producing. So in which case, we are not losing out in any way in terms of OIC's divesting. And the pattern then tells me that this oil production assumption is not unrealistic.
Meanwhile, the federal government and the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has been commended on the successful restreaming of the Warri Refinery and Petrochemicals Company after several years of dormancy. Now, this latest commendation is coming from a former member representing Jos Southeast Federal Constituency, Mr. Dachong Bagos. He was on our Business Nigeria program earlier today. He said this achievement is a reassurance that President Bola Tinubu's administration is poised to revive the country's oil and gas industry.
I'm proud to be a Nigerian at this very point in time, that my generation really could witness what the previous generation witnessed when those refineries were working. And so this is an exciting news. This is very commendable. And again, this is, if there is nothing the president will take as an achievement, he should be excited to celebrate this milestone that the management of NNPC have kept to their words under the leadership of Mele Kyari at this particular point in time. Monitoring what has come up now it's quite important, because still commendable to the NNPC. They launched the Monitoring Command Center, PMCC, which will be able to monitor all the operations, how the movement of crude and so on and so forth.
Well, stock trading for 2024 ends December 31st as the Markets Committee celebrates achievements. Effiong Gekop gives us detailed reports on markets.
Stockbrokers say that 2024 was a year of great developments in the market space. They point to profitability of the NGX exchange in global ranking among 3 best world exchanges. For the last day of trade, the market came alive with celebrations as the leadership of the Association of Securities Dealing Houses of Nigeria, ASHN, was honored to close the year's trading.
We are the Association of Security Dealing Houses of Nigeria, meaning that all the operators of the market, on NGS, which is our exchange, are members of the Association of Security Dealing Houses of Nigeria. So what better honor for us than to come and close the market for the year?
TVC News asked what role Ashen plays in the nation's capital markets.
We discuss and interface with the exchange, the regulators, the SEC, and all, even government. And then we also interface with the quoted companies that come to the market to trade. So we act as a go-between our market and the exchange.
Data from the NGX exchange showed the year's index grew above 103,000 points. Value of securities, bonds, and exchange-traded funds stood above 61 trillion naira. In the year-to-date calculation, markets grew by 37%, while 3 listings came into the markets in the year under review.
The way the market is playing now is different from how it was playing before. And the investors now have confidence in the market compared to what they normally have before.
A very remarkable year for the capital market, both at the equities end and the debt end. In fact, it's a year in which the rally of equities, which started last year, has continued with undiminished intensity.
Market operators honored the leadership of Ashen with their family song, while many people predict bullish run for the first quarter of the new year. Efyong Ekop, TVC News, Lagos.
Outside our shores, Asian stocks eased today in cautious end-of-year trading that has seen investors scale back bets of dip U.S. rate cuts in 2025. And the brace for the incoming Trump administration, which the dollar is standing tall amidst other currencies. MSCI's broadest index of Asian Pacific shares outside of Japan notched down 0.2%, but was set for an 8% gain in 2024, its second straight year in the back. Now, the Chinese blue chip, CSR 300, was flat, while Hong Kong Hang Seng Index was 0.3% higher in early trading. On Wall Street, all 3 major U.S. indexes closed with sharp losses in a broad sell-off at the end of a strong year, mainly due to the end-of-year tax position in valuation, worries about uncertainty about 2025. Despite the year-end weaknesses, U.S. stock markets have surged this year, with the Nasdaq on track for about a 30% annual gain and the S&P 500 headed for a more than 24% rise. The gloomy year-end mood is set to continue in Europe, and Euro Stock 50 futures is down 0.67%, German DAX futures is down 0.62%, and FTSE futures is 0.08% lower. Now, almost finally, cocoa and coffee are poised to close 2024 as the biggest gainers among commodities for the second year on a global supply deficit, while steel making coal still will end as the worst performer, hit by slow growth in China. Chocolate cocoa nearly tripled in price over 2024, far outpacing gains in other commodities. It hit a record high of $12,931 per metric ton in New York earlier this month, on forecast of a lower supply for 4th consecutive session in West Africa following dry weather. Now, top cocoa producers, Ivory Coast and Ghana, have suffered crop losses due to adverse weather, paint diseases, smuggling, and reduced plantation in favor of illegal gold mining. Dryness and strained coffee supply as well. Ice Arabica coffee's price soared to their highest in more than 40 years amid fears that severe droughts earlier this year damaged the upcoming crop in top producer Brazil. According to analysts, global trade tensions are likely to dominate the commodities landscape in 2025 as Donald Trump returns to the White House, threatening new tariffs. And crude oil prices, now wrapping up the news, is mixed today, showing a downward, China's manufacturing activities, which expanded in December, but they're on track to end lower for a second consecutive year due to demand concerns in top consuming countries. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude sells for $71.42 with an uptick of 0.61%. Brent experienced an upward margin of 0.51% to sell for $74.37 per barrel. Bonnie Light sells for $78.62 with a price decline of 2.84